Welcome to this episode of the Outsiders Podcast. If you're not following us yet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we're out there. Probably saying something that gets us in trouble. Want to support the show? Head to outsidersstudios.com. You'll find membership options, merch, and more ways to stay connected to what we're building. Elect Exiles, Brett's podcast, solid theology, clear thinking, and worth your time. Branden's Substack drops twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. It's where he works out what doesn't always fit in an episode. We've got a lot in the pipeline. Stay tuned, and as always, thanks for listening.
Welcome to Outsiders Podcast. I'm your host, Branden Woodall. I had determined that I was going to try to do a Donald Trump impersonation. Don't think it's appropriate at this point in time.
Why?
And to my left, Bryce Armstrong.
That was not me. Bryce Armstrong, and actually kind of to my left because I turned my body.
Andrew McKinley, who also turned his body.
You did?
But you can't see it. I only turned to the inside. And to my left.
It's the zipper.
Brett Welty. To my left.
Jim Cole.
We are here once again to talk about things from above, I think. And so, pontification. I'm pontificating.
Are you?
Not yet.
I am. We're getting there.
You said I am. Okay, anyway.
That's a song.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's Californication.
Californication.
Oh.
Andrew.
No,
Yo.
you added a segment. Are we continuing it?
did. I forgot. Things that we enjoy. I was thinking about this on the way here, and then I totally blanked. But yeah,
Jim's turn.
It's Jim's turn.
My
What's
turn?
the things you like, Jim?
Oh, I like lots of things.
Just one thing. Please don't do
One.
Don't do his 12 things that
I had
I have
3.
2, and then it turned into more than 2.
I have a lot of things I like.
I like a lot of things. I like camping. I like playing board games.
I love board games. Board games
Yeah.
are awesome.
I know. I like gardening. I like Jesus.
Ooh. Hold on.
Not in that order, obviously.
Not in that order.
Those are things
I like
that...
riding bike.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one.
Not today.
bikes are great.
It was a little hot.
Yeah. It was hot.
What was that?
There's probably more.
Okay. Well, hey. That was things that Jim liked. Apparently.
I like my wife.
You should add that one.
Good
You want
addition.
me to cut that in so it's back further?
That was great. And now on to whatever you have.
What's that segment called again?
Things we enjoy.
Are you sure?
I don't care. It'll change every week.
I was going to say, call it something different.
Things we mildly like passively.
Well, don't say that because he just named good things. His wife was included.
Oh,
in
yes.
that.
Things
And-
that Jim likes that are good.
And Jesus. Like,
This week it was things Jim loves.
yeah.
Jim loves
Next week,
things.
who knows?
Next
Brett, I'm like, I mildly like cheddar on my bacon.
Ooh.
I do like a mild cheddar.
Hey, it's not your turn.
I'm just saying in general. I mean, I would hate to. They call
like
that
cooking.
a teaser in the business. I'm giving you a teaser.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry.
Teaser. Yeah.
In the
It's like a Marvel trailer.
All right, Andrew, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess insert extra long theme song music here. All right, and we're back. All right, welcome to another edition of can we call it Family Feud, or is that
It's
too copyrighty?
I mean, people
We're answering questions
based
about
off
the Bible,
of the top 100 people.
based off of surveys of 100 people. So these answers are not necessarily correct, not necessarily answered by people who are professional studiers of the word. They are like us. Except
He is
for
a
Brett.
professional
Except for
study. He literally got a master's
Brett
degree.
is the only person in this room who didn't go to college.
Wait,
Wait. Backwards. Only person who did.
I have
Also
no
not true.
idea about Jim's education.
Jim, did you go to college?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I went a little bit, I guess.
I'm currently going.
Should we answer some questions?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right. So our first category is to name a king from the Bible who is often associated with wisdom.
Oh.
I literally.
And who gets to go first on?
Let's give Bryce the
David.
first one.
He's not-
Really? That's who you went with first?
Well, duh.
Oh, second
Oh,
answer.
sorry. I mean, it's
Jump.
it's what people,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
necessarily
That's probably-
scholars.
that's
Yeah,
Probably.
good save.
Thank you. Obviously, it's not going to be number one.
It is the number 2 answer.
Thank you.
30 points. Brandon really wants to go next.
I'll go next.
Solomon.
I wasn't going to give it to
Let me
you,
go next.
Mr. Talkover. Yes, Solomon is the number 1 answer, 40 points.
Good job.
All right.
I'll wait. I can
Um,
wait. I got time.
Let's go to Jim. We'll keep it going to the circle now.
Wow. Once you've taken those 2 out, there's not much left.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Not on the list.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Good
go.
answer.
But I could see why it would be.
I'm gonna go with the prophet Hezekiah.
You are correct. Number 3 on the list.
Wow.
I want
picked-
everyone in the
Thank
world to
you.
know.
Thank
I
you.
know Hezekiah is not a prophet.
Thank you.
I
you.
I
I
picked this
also want to
question.
be just a class 1 troll. I mean, just trolling you.
I picked that question specifically because Hezekiah has an answer, and Bryce is like,
You what?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we have the top 3.
That's it.
We got 3 left.
There's
Really?
3 more.
Yes.
Okay, before you finished the question, and you just said king in Bible, all I wanted to say was Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh.
Well, yeah. No.
Jeremiah.
Okay, is that your answer?
Should it be?
It's number 5 on the list. Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah.
5 points.
I got it. Really?
Yeah.
Also not that bright.
Yeah.
Became like a human donkey for like
So he was a-
Yeah, he was
a while.
awful.
Yeah, not bright.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah,
Brandon
that's my face too. I don't know.
Boaz.
Good answer.
should
Yep.
have been,
I-
but not.
Oh,
No.
it's okay. It's okay.
So that's
He was
two,
wise.
two,
Oh, it's limited to kings.
2 strikes.
Yep.
I mean, you would think so,
Oh,
but
Oh.
really?
that's how
Oh.
the game works, you know.
I have
Wait,
a
wait. Oh, sorry. Oh, please get something right. I have one.
You're asking a lot of me and Jim.
I'm really hoping the one I'm thinking is on the list.
All right. So we've got 2 left and 2 strikes.
I'm gonna go with Saul.
Number 6 answer, 5 points. Nice.
Good answer.
Nicely done.
That's what I
Oh, so it's not going to get back to me either way.
But
It's not, yeah.
Wisdom.
Back. It's just like, what are the names of the kings that I would even just know? Period. That's what it seems like.
That's
the
about
answer.
how you got to do it at this point.
Let's go.
Yeah, but okay.
Let's go with someone that's not even a king. I'm going to go with Job.
Oh, yeah.
Also a good guess,
Good
but not in there.
The
No.
wisdom of
Good.
Job.
It's a
No.
good answer.
Well, that's the
So, I mean,
patience of Job.
you know what, Bryce? Go
I
ahead
would
and
have said
give it a shot.
Jesus.
Oh.
That would have been a good guess too, but no.
That's
The
point.
last answer we were looking for was Josiah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Josiah.
is he a king?
That's actually
Yeah.
a legitimate good answer.
It is.
I'm
Unlike Saul.
correct.
Yeah. So in other
Or
words,
Nebuchadnezzar.
you are free to feel bad about missing that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I will.
We're going to stick with the Old Testament. We're going to go with Old Testament prophets
Hezekiah.
who were not on the list.
Don't
Who
even
were-
need to hear the question.
Who were recorded as performing miracles.
I have
Prophets who have, who have
literally no idea.
performed miracles.
No, I don't. You can just skip me
Let's
for this
start
round.
with Brett.
You can just skip me for this round because I will be every X.
Elijah.
Elijah's the number 1 answer.
You took
That would
mine.
have been
Sorry.
number 1.
I should have
Elisha.
Elisha's the number 2 answer. Good job,
Yep.
Jim. 4 answers remaining, Brandon.
I know.
Brett. That's my son's name.
That's true. I totally ripped you off.
That was my answer.
You do have one more son.
But he's not a He's not a prophet.
Right.
Do we have a lifeline?
No.
I don't know.
I'm combining.
Let's wake somebody up.
I don't know if he was a prophet because it could be Moses.
He was a prophet.
It was a good guess, and that would have been correct, but he's not on the list.
He is a prophet, and he did do
He
miracles.
did do miracles.
He
Yeah.
did all the right ones.
I'm not even gonna go.
Just
I
go.
literally have no idea. Nope. I have no idea.
At this point, you're
you
the
could just give me an X.
right now. You're the producer.
Just
You're just the producer
give me
of the show.
an X because I have no idea.
All right, we'll skip Bryce for this round.
I'll go Daniel.
Number 3 answer.
Good answer.
20 points.
Is that another one you were going? Go ahead. Sorry, dude.
No, I'm glad you took it.
I-
Someone deserved it.
Jim, Old Testament prophet who performed miracles.
Prophet I want. I can't think of his name. He's the one that anointed Saul. I can't think of his name.
Just keep thinking for a second.
Samuel.
There you
Good answer.
A very good guess, but not on the list.
Oh, it's okay. It was a good answer, Jim. It was a good answer.
go.
Brandon is flipping through his.
Hey, no.
Bible.
He's just skimming.
He's thinking real hard.
He just really likes flipping.
I love flipping.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, that Ezekiel. Whatever Jim said.
No, that was you, Brandon.
Good,
Yeah.
good guess, but not on the.
Oh, I couldn't.
Okay, that's not what that was.
All right.
Jim. That was.
Yeah, that's just Jim thinking
Come
out
on.
loud.
How many are left?
Come on,
We've got 3 left.
Jeremiah.
Wow.
Jeremiah is on the list. Yes, we'll give it to you.
Lamentations. Sorry, I'm going in the order.
Jeremiah was on the board for 5 points. 2 answers remaining.
I mean, I guess if you're just going to go by prophets whose name people might recognize, Isaiah.
It's on the list.
Good answer.
I don't know if
I don't
any
think he did any
miracles.
I don't think he did, but
I think he.
that's not what the game is.
other than foretelling, the virgin birth, but that's prophecy. It's hardly a miracle.
That's not a
He
miracle.
didn't do it.
Prophet.
He just said it. He just said it. He didn't do it.
He wasn't the one
He didn't-
being born.
Oh, that was good.
All right, we've got 1 answer remaining, and it will make you mad.
Oh,
John the Baptist.
Abraham.
Also a good guess, but not on there. Yeah.
Oh.
Jonah.
What?
Oh,
What
yeah.
did he do?
all he did was whine and
All he
complain
did
like
was
a baby.
whiner.
Get mad and go the wrong
Got barked
way.
up by a bitch.
Jonah was just a big baby.
You know who was the real hard worker in that? The fish. Have you ever tried to hold something in your mouth for days?
I was going to say indigestion. I mean,
Can't.
3 days of indigestion.
This guy's attitude's so crappy.
Look,
I want to get him out of me.
He didn't do it.
Hey, do you have another one?
I do. I do have one more. This category is famous battles where God provided victory, and I will addendum this with: it can be an actual battle between armies, or it can also be between 2 individuals. Doesn't necessarily have to be a large scale thing.
Who's starting this round?
Let's start with Brandon.
What?
Yeah.
Let's start with Mr. I passed last round.
I did pass.
Not you.
That was me.
Oh. Oh, Jericho.
There you go. The Battle of.
Jericho.
I was
Good
gonna
answer.
say 5 armies or Spartan.
300.
World War II, World War One.
The
God,
Battle
what
of
all
Helm's
the-
Deep.
This is probably not going to be on the list, but Jesus dying on the cross and it.
Ooh.
You know what? That's
Battle.
such a Sunday school answer.
Bro,
Get
I'm
outta here.
sorry.
It was an
that,
answer,
That
though.
battle was
Because, like, you're right, but it's also not on the list.
okay. I figured it wasn't,
Yeah.
but
Yours was, by the way.
Thank you. Well,
I'm gonna go with the Gibeonites in Joshua. Sun stood still for 10 days.
Gideon
Or 10
versus
hours.
the Midianites. Is that?
No, not that one.
No.
Wow, you gave it away though.
Sorry. Yeah.
well.
hey,
Jim,
get it.
Jim, you got an answer?
The boy David and Goliath.
Oh,
Number 1 answer.
there you
Okay.
go.
I didn't know if that was. Okay, I didn't know.
It was a battle.
He literally says that could be between 2 people.
Well,
Oh, he
I was
did.
gonna say no.
You're right. Should have known.
Back to you, Brandon.
There's like one in Revelation, Gog and Magog.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
The last battle.
The very
Good
last
answer.
one.
Good answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Yes, you're correct.
Sorry. That was the New King James.
I never had heard it referred to that way before. So
Yeah.
as Gog and Magog. Yeah.
Sounds cool.
I'd always heard it as like the battle in the Valley of Megiddo or Armageddon.
The one
This just sounds like an anime.
They can all kind of work.
You look like an anime.
No, I don't.
it's the nose.
Oh man.
It's the way your mouth only takes 4 different shapes at any time.
How many we got left?
One more on the list.
Oh man, I
So glad it's wait. How many strikes do we have?
won.
One strike.
Well, that's pretty good.
It means that I'm gonna have to get the third strike. You get the second.
I'm gonna
one.
get this.
You can have 2. I'll have 3.
All right, perfect.
You know that battle from 300? Is that in the?
I already asked that.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Wrong, Xerxes.
Bro, I have no idea.
Good answer.
Good answer. Not on the list. Sorry.
Sorry. Brett, you got one?
Well, I mean, I don't have one. I guess I would go with. Did you accept? You already accepted Gideon. Yeah. Okay, so then, if individuals are still on the table, I would say the angel of the Lord and Israel.
That's
or
a really
Jacob.
good guess,
Good
but not on the
Yeah,
list.
too deep
No.
cut.
The last one was Deborah and Sisera.
Oh, the tent
Oh.
peg through the head. There
Yep.
we go.
Yeah, which is really more of an assassination.
Wait.
Judges,
I'll
than a
be honest.
battle,
I
but
don't know what that is.
you should read
It's
Judges.
kind of
bro.
metal,
wild.
man. It's a little bit metal.
Wild.
There's a lot of wars or battles that could have been brought up. There's
Yeah.
some between Asa and the horde from Ethiopia.
That's true.
There's just a lot of battles.
It's weird because you're trying to think of the ones that are someone that doesn't really read the Bible would think of.
Or like Jezebel getting kicked out of the window.
Yep,
Been
correct.
eaten by the dogs.
Yep. I like to see that made into a movie.
But they did it once.
Vivid. Did they?
Just in a cartoon.
Oh, that tracks.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, everyone.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So and on that note, gore.
Yeah.
Feels right to me. Well, we're talking about treasures, but
I mean, other than that, basically same thing.
yeah.
How many battles was David in? I mean,
Oh yeah.
right?
So many.
Tons.
Between him and his son,
Yeah, Absalom. Yeah, that's good.
Absalom. Yep.
David versus a cloak.
That's Harry Potter.
Oh, he cuts off the.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Do you not know? Haven't we joked around most of the time here? Yeah, we are in the parables. And today we are tackling the parable of the hidden treasure and the pearl of great value. Andrew, even though you just hosted us for a while,
All right.
would you read the passage of Scripture?
We're looking at Matthew 13, 44 through 46. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who on finding one pearl of great value, went and sold all that he had and bought it.
Awesome. Well, let's tackle the hidden treasure. So, in these first couple of verses, we see in Jesus. So, in Jesus's day, formal banks didn't exist, and treasures, they were often hidden in fields for safekeeping. So, the bankers mentioned in Matthew 25, verse 27, were actually money changers who exchanged currency and sometimes loaned money at interest. And so, we set up the scene. The man who found the treasure might not have been a farmer. He might have been like a hired hand or a traveler, and he stumbled upon the treasure unexpectedly. So this parable, it emphasizes the supreme value of hidden treasure, which is the kingdom of heaven. So the phrase buys that field is not about earning salvation, but illustrates that the kingdom is worth far more than any sacrifice. So the man, his response is immediately joyful. And so in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has. And so this joy shows how priceless the kingdom is compared to everything else he owns. And so, question to get us started in our conversation here. So can you think of any time that God revealed himself to you unexpectedly? And how did that shift your understanding of what's truly valuable? Pontificate.
I don't have a direct answer to the question you asked,
Mhm.
but like any good politician, I'll just take it and I'll say what I want to say. As you were reading, and I think it's fascinating that the first parable we did was parable of the talents, and he buries his one talent into the ground, and he's considered a slothful servant. So again, it's interesting when you're reading the Bible that you have to take the the parable in its context, because in this context, there's nothing negative about the pearl being buried in the field. It's a normal thing. So in that sense, does that not make the parable we looked at previously even more interesting, in that the person who buried it might not have been that might not have been as bad of a thing, or he might not have thought it was such a so that's just an interesting sidebar based on the cultural context. But still, I think for this one, the thing I wrote down was that when the outcome is sure, the payment or the investment isn't a risk at all. I think it says that he sold everything, sold all that he had joyfully. He did that, and he went and bought the field. There was no risk here. And there's so much in the Christian life could be a risk or feel like a risk. Sometimes we take a risk when we open our mouth or we talk to somebody about Christ. We take a risk when we make a stand at work or something. There are risks that we can take, but the kingdom itself is not a risk. The pearl of great price, Christ, the kingdom is not. There's no risk here. There's no reason to not be excited to give it all away, because what you're going to get back will far exceed. And just thinking like that about Christ, as I was meditating on that today as we're preparing for this, is powerful. Like, if we lost everything, because realistically that's we probably won't have to sell anything in our lives, right? We could probably live comfortably. But if we were to lose everything for the sake of the name, we could do it joyfully. I mean, I think of in Hebrews, was it 10 maybe, where they talk about how that you're joyfully accepting the plundering of your property. Why? Because they understood the pearl of great price, that Christ is worth all of it.
I think that's a great point too, because I've heard it said before that not in really any circles I've ran in, but in mainly people that are on TV, that you buying your way into heaven, and this is it's not the point. You're not buying your way into the kingdom, because that's what it sounds like if you completely take this parable out of context.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's seeing how valuable it is and realizing that nothing else compares to it.
That's all. I think I'm not going to tangent off on that either, but it's like, sounds like modern day indulgences from like before the Reformation. You have to buy your loved ones and soul into heaven. I think it's the same kind of thing, but I'm not gonna tangent on that. We could have a whole episode on that.
Oh yeah.
This is not a useful or constructive thought at all, but wouldn't it be funny to find out that the treasure he found happened to be one talent?
Oh yeah. I think the
That servant's in trouble now.
I think it's interesting when you bring it up that way. I think it's interesting storytelling on Jesus's behalf, and it's intentional storytelling, because he's probably talking to a lot of the same audience. So they're recalling, like you said, the parable of the talents. And so it's like, well, what do we do with that now? You just said that this guy that just left this one talent out here was like useless. And then, then someone's uselessness, it seems like God used that to bless that person. It's just,
You have to assume here that it's more than one talent. That
Yeah,
this,
right.
this
Yeah.
is- This is worth everything else.
Yeah.
There's two thoughts that come to my mind. One is the kingdom of heaven is worth everything else, and it seems like we fight letting go of the everything else because we don't necessarily have to. So we don't feel this field that this treasure is in is not his. And for him to get that field, he's going to have to sacrifice everything. And I think we really need to come to that place in our walk where we're willing to give up everything. That means the people we love the most, to let go. The absolute everything. This is in the context of monetary, but I think there's bigger things at play. And for your original question, where God has showed up, I think of myself when I was at a place where things, I didn't understand why my hard work didn't yield anything. I didn't understand why the world was the way it was, and I was really struggling. I didn't have a relationship with Christ, and I decided, because I was raised in the church, that maybe if I'm a Christian, I should read the Bible at least one time, and started reading the Bible. And in there, and I think it's Matthew 5, where it says, talks about there's those that will come to me in the end that'll say that I've done these miracles, I've done these good deeds in your name, and I'll tell them to go away. because I never knew you. And it was at that moment that I realized that I needed God, that I needed to know him. I stopped and recognized that I need God more than anything else that I've been fighting for and all these other frustrations. I needed him. And I knelt and I prayed a simple prayer. God, I need you in my life. That was my entire prayer. I didn't feel unique. I didn't feel like I was walking on cloud nine. I didn't feel anything special. But in a few weeks, I realized that my life was on a new path. Not because somebody told me that I should do this or stop doing that, but God put me on a new path. And I think when you're ready, when you're in that place and you're ready, you're like, God, everything I got is just not worth it. And you're ready to let go, then you'll find that treasure.
So how do you think you get back to it? So I think about when the Lord first saves us and we're just on fire. Maybe that's the expression, you're on fire for the Lord. Just everything is new and fresh and exciting. And yeah, I'd go to great lengths I'd give up anything and everything. It's easy to say that when you're 22 and single or newly saved, and it's just so vibrant and powerful. But now you're 10, 15 years down the road. You've got commitments, responsibilities, job. I mean, you've got life. What does it look like now to say, I'm willing to give it all? What does that look like for the normal person listening to our podcast, or even us sitting around the table? Like, how do we not end up like one of the churches in Revelation, the church in Ephesus? You've lost your first love. How do you get back your first love?
That's a good question, because it does seem like we get entwined with the things of the world, and they might be good things. They keep us busy.
Or they could be good things like a career, or a family, kids. I mean, we're not saying that to partake in the kingdom means that you have to be a vagrant that doesn't have a job or responsibilities or a mortgage or whatever. Those aren't necessarily bad things, but what does it look like 15, 20 years into your walk and you've got commitments and yet you still want to be on fire for the Lord?
I'm going to say you're going to have to make some intentional decisions. The battle is within us. There's those things I know I should be doing, I don't do them. There's things I shouldn't be doing, and those are the very things that I do. And so there's this battle going on. I think one of Satan's, if you can say that, I don't think of him as omnipresent, and I'm not that important. So, but the point being is that if we can't cause you to stumble, maybe he could keep you busy, and so that we don't engage in the kingdom per se. And we separate ourselves, and I think that's part of it too. We get comfortable in I'm going to say it this way, within the church family, and we don't have that outside pressure. We start to lose contact with anybody who doesn't think like we think. I think part of me thinks that's why we're doing this podcast, right?
I think a large part for me is I want that fire in me because I want that fire in my children. I want so desperately for my kids to be better than I ever have been. I'm not even good. I'm not even remotely close to where I should be. I am constantly a failure, and my kids see that failure, but I want them to see that failure doesn't mean that they have to make the same mistakes I've made, that they have to fail in the same ways. I want them to fail in their own ways and realize that the Lord's going to love them regardless of their failing, and the Lord loves me regardless of my failing. So I want that fire in me, and I'm again, I'm not good. I'm not even remotely close to it, but I thank the Lord so much for His forgiveness and grace are so great, and I think that's what, and I want to say recently in my life has been reignited. There have been years where I haven't been on fire, and that's, I don't know what I don't even know how I feel about saying on fire, because that term in and of itself has a lot of weird feelings for me from the past. But I guess to answer the question, I mean, I want that for myself because I want an amazing relationship with the Lord, but I really want my children to love the Lord the way that I never have. I want them to be better than I ever have. So, and maybe that's not a great answer, but yeah.
Nominal answer.
It's a good thing to feel, at least, if nothing else. I think just reading the question a few times to kind of process it, I keep coming back to Brittany and I got called to church planting for a little bit. And where our sacrifices aren't necessarily, I mean, so we did sacrifice time. We sacrificed a lot of like extra free time to take a leadership role in a church plant. But I think the bigger sacrifice was, Jim, you had mentioned comfort, familiarity, the complacency of the church family. And so we left a church that was big and established and comfortable and easy. I think probably too easy, and went to something difficult and awkward and a little bit unknown. So I think not necessarily, I know that the parable maybe speaks more to the initial salvation moment, but I think it can also speak to us answering calls. And so, yeah, that's just where my brain keeps going, is that the treasure at that moment for us was to go to something extremely challenging and character building, and it was invaluable. And it kind of shifted my focus on what is value from what's pure benefit to what makes us better. And by better, I mean more after God's will and closer to him and more just aligned with being after his heart. Not again because of anything that we were good at, but by his grace, we both managed to say yes when we are both people who enjoy familiarity and comfort and aren't super brave people necessarily. We took the call instead of ignoring it. And yeah, I mean, that was an extremely formative and character building moment for us and really changed our relationship with God.
Yeah. I guess for me, to answer this question, I would say the last 5 or so years have been a sort of kind of renewal, or in other words, like a conversion, like something has shifted in my life where I've had to die to a lot of things that I thought I wanted, and I thought that I thought was going to be the thing I do, right? But God, in his great mercy and his grace, I think he's spared me from a lot of pain. But dying to the things that you thought is painful too. I don't want to like talk down on that either. But I think what keeps me wanting that spark, or I don't want to just say feeling, but that truth of, hey, like my life without Christ is shipwreck and is full of pain and misery. I'm not a good person for anybody without Christ, and I want to be a good husband and best friend to my wife. I want to be a good father to my kids, and when I'm not on track, I'm terrible at both of those. I'm not a good friend. I'm none of these things without Christ. And it's because he's changing my heart to be who I should be. And it's not because I want to chase a feeling. I just want more of Jesus in my heart and in my life. And I want to have a friendship with Jesus, because why not? And I think that's what we're supposed to do. Like, we're friends with God. So our friendship, we put time into them, and God's available all the time. I want to talk to him all the time, and I want to know more about him all the time, and I want to have joy. Like, I don't want to have, like, Christians don't have to be all dusty and curmudgeonly or whatever, we don't have to do that. Like, we can be full of joy because we have the answer to all problems of life. We have the answer to our, like, what am I called to do? Well, you're called to go and make disciples and to tell more people about the things that you have experienced and the things that you've come from and now are. And I think that's, at least recently, I'm not good at it. So I talked to a coworker the other day. He's like, I'm not a very good Christian. I'm like, oh, I'm not either. So like, I'm growing just as much as you are. So I'm just in I'm a little further down the road than you are, but I'm like, I stumble all the time. And
That's the trick. None of us are.
yeah.
That's the neat part. You don't get good. You get better, but not good.
Yeah, there's more like cues like, oh, I know what I'm doing right now. I know what's going on. And other times you ignore those cues and you keep doing what you want to do, or you keep, self-pity and stuff like that.
When God says to Noah, right, I'm never going to do that again, even though every thought they have is bent towards evil. What? We don't like to think of ourselves that way. I think the treasure that I really found in the midst of all of this is how much he loves me. And I can't get past that. I mean, like, it's not, oh, these are the rules I have to follow. It's no longer about that. He loves me, period. And that causes me to love him back. So the rules are no longer, they're not important as far as rules go. What's important is they tell me who God is. And I know this offends him, and I don't want to offend him. But my thoughts are always bent towards evil, and I struggle with it every day. But he loves me. And that's our message, right?
Yeah.
The Father loves you, and he wants you to come home.
Yeah. Bro, what's your answer? I mean, it was your question, but what's your answer?
I forgot the question. How do you get your first love? Well, the answer in Revelation is repent and do the works that you did at first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on one level, the answer is, God, forgive me for not giving you my life. Forgive me for not giving you what is owed, what is due. And then I think the answer would be, help me to see you rightly and understand salvation rightly. I think to Jim's point, like when we truly understand God's love or God's mercy or his grace, like if we truly just step back and think, what do we have and what did we receive? And then with spiritual eyes, it gives us, I think, the ability to see and the grace that pours into to give us what we need to be able to do that. Now, the other thing, so it's a two-part answer. So one would be acknowledge that I'm not where I need to be, where I should be. I have taken for granted the great things the many blessings you give me. So forgive me, I repent. Second thing I would say is, like, don't beat yourself up, in that God gives grace for the moment. God gives grace for the season. God gives grace in the time you need it. So no one is asking you to be able to conjure up the grace you need right now to lose everything, because it's not happening. So we want to also believe that God is faithful. And so if there were a time where I had to sell everything, lose everything, take a big hit, the grace will be there. So I think the answer would be to have faith that God will be faithful to us when or if it were to happen. So I think too often I did it by asking the question, but I think if we live in a way where we're thinking, I'm not enough, I'm not going to be enough, I'm not going to have enough, if something bad's going to happen, I'm going to fail. I think you need to remember, I think it's Paul Tripp that says there's no such thing as a grace savings account. Like, you're not saving up grace for the moment that you need it. Like, the grace is just going to be delivered when you need it. You live day by day. Daily bread is what you get. So my twofold answer would be repent and acknowledge, and then believe that God will be faithful and will deliver us and will give us what we need in every season, just like manna from heaven, so that we will be able to endure and then also receive the first love again when we have strayed the path.
The way you described that when you're starting to say it, my thought actually went with the man with one talent, because I really don't have enough. I really don't have much. So I'm going to just bury it, right? And I think we make that excuse. I don't have the answers. I don't know enough Bible. I don't know, I don't have that. That's not who I am. So I'm just going to bury everything God gave me, right? If I were going to encourage those listeners, if you find yourself in that place, and I'm there often, just find something and plug into it. Something that will help grow the kingdom of God. You'll grow with it. Be tenacious.
Do the work.
Yep.
Why do you, to circle back a little bit, why do you think from the pulpit, why do you think there's this message of giving up everything? And to me, it seems like there's sometimes a false narrative of like you've got to become acidic in some ways. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think because to me, I have heard plenty of those kind of messages in my life, and I was like, what do I do? Like, because like you said, Jim, I'm not ready. I'm not capable of that. Like, if we're bent towards evil, like how do we combat that kind of narrative of that false guilt of like, well, I'm not capable of giving. I can't drop everything. I have responsibilities. I mean, maybe we can have the mindset of, well, nothing is mine anyways. It's all a gift from God. But it's still, like you said earlier, it doesn't change the fact that we have to live a life too. We have to be responsible. And maybe it was just the era that we grew up in, but maybe it was just like, I've got to drop this and move to this place to be involved with this thing. And I want to, I'm not, maybe I'm just speaking to the air here. Like maybe nobody relates to that, but it's like, what if you've been in that situation where you've given ththings up and then it's come back to like haunt you in some ways because it wasn't necessarily the right move for you? Maybe it was speaking to somebody else in that situation that would have been more capable to do that. But what if it wasn't you?
I have found in my experience that when we first step out, there's a couple of things that I've seen both happen. One, we step out and we get this incredible response that puts us like in cloud nine, right? But I've also seen it just totally fail. But the reality is God's not just working in like one dimension. He's working in everybody around us. So I've seen the failure turn out to be something incredible. So while the person that was involved in it felt they failed, the people that heard or interacted with them were impacted greatly in a positive way. And we look at it one dimensional. Like, and so we carry this thing. And the reality is we don't have anything to carry. It's all God. We simply show up and do our best, period. So I can't say I don't know enough of God's word. Well, you could read more. But you can't say I don't know enough about God's word because it's not you. You just go with what you know. You take your sack lunch and you feed 5,000. Don't worry about how that happens. Just do it. I'm not telling you to go feed 5,000. What I'm saying is take your sack lunch and step out. Trust God. And it may not go well. You know what? It's not one-dimensional.
I would add on to that kind of go back to the part of the question where you're like, if you find yourself somewhere, you're like, oh no, I made a mistake. I'm not answering the right call or something like that. Or if you feel like you didn't follow God's will, you're not sure how you got there. You're still in the story that he wrote. It's not like you're there on accident. You might not understand the purpose of it at that moment, but he has a purpose for you to be there. You are still under the sovereignty of his will, whether you are trying to get there or not.
Right?
So I think to answer your question about the asceticism, which is just a big word for like not partaking in any good things. So I think the answer is, I think there's some ditches that we want to stay out of, because I think we're not called to be monks. We're not called to give up everything. You know, there are good things and they're gifts. I mean, all good things come from the Father above, right? That's James 1. So all the good gifts that we have are just that. They're good gifts. And so we don't have to feel bad about enjoying our marriages, our work, our children. I mean, all these things that are good things, they're meant to be enjoyed. They're meant to be enjoyed to the glory of God. And so that's a ditch we want to stay out of, is to say, well, there was a book that came out probably 20 years ago now. It was called Radical by a guy named David Platt. And it was like, the only really great will for your life is to go on the mission field, sell it all, go and do it. And then there's a reactionary book, or a book written in reaction by a guy named Michael Horton called Ordinary. And it was about being an ordinary Christian, being faithful as a husband and a father and a worker in the kingdom. So it's not wrong. I think there is this push in certain circles where it's like there's like a higher level of awesome, and it's to burn the bridges, burn the ships, and go do the thing. But time and again, God works through the far more simple plan because he gets more glory. I mean, God gets glory when a suburban housewife ministers to someone. I mean, just because you sold everything and went to live in Uganda doesn't mean that you're any more in the will of God than the woman who is evangelizing to the lady in the the soccer mom in the pickup. I mean, that's just, these things are just, God has you go where you go and do what you do. So we should just chill out. Like a phrase that I've been thinking of lately is joyful orthodoxy. Like, yes, we're Orthodox Christians. We believe in Christian, but like we're not spazzes about it, and we're not ascetics about it. It's like, oh, this can't have any fun. Can't enjoy any of this, because if I do that, I mean, I'm gonna lose it, right? Because that's the other thing. If I like it too much, God's gonna take it away because he's a mean dad.
Oh, you still go to movies?
Yeah, you play cards, you run around, and it's like, come on, guys. Like,
I have one question about the books. Did they take a little picture of the house and turn it right side up again?
That's
Put
a
it on
great
there because that
question.
would be a great
Oh,
little snap.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question. I've only seen the cover, and I don't remember what the cover looks like. I never read Radical either. I didn't get on the train.
I did read Radical, not realizing what it was, and
It's not
I
bad.
felt so guilty not doing what it said.
Yeah.
And that's part of what Branden was saying earlier is like we feel we grew up in a time where if you didn't do this great grand thing and sell everything and do all of this, then you're failing God. And I was not called to sell everything and go to Uganda or go any. I didn't feel that, but I had people left and right telling me that that's what I needed to do because that's what you're called to do. I'm like, but you're not me. Like, how are you sitting here telling me that I need to go do this thing? I don't know.
I think God will set in front of you what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if it means pulling the weeds in your garden, pull the weeds in your garden. It's not a rocket science. And there are these ditches where we tend to get in. We often forsake the general call of just being good people, loving our neighbors, for this idea of being in front of people, being, important.
Yeah.
And I think it's when we go there we get in trouble. We need to have fun along the way.
I take it back. I did do that. I pretty much sold everything I did have, and I moved to San Antonio, and I lived there for 4 months and realized this is not what God's calling me to do. It was a nightmare. It was awful. Also, so hot. No, thank you. I'm sorry for all of our San Antonio listeners, but it's so hot.
They know what's
in
hot.
December. Why? Why? Oh, anyway, yeah. And so I did do the crazy big thing because that's what everyone said I needed to do. And I say everyone, I don't mean like
I didn't say that.
no, you were one of the only people that didn't, and then I didn't listen to you. But yeah, like there were people who were saying go and do this thing, and I did, and it was a nightmare.
Did God use it anyway?
Oh, it did. Yes.
If
I got this really cool tattoo.
You met
There you
some.
go.
You met
But
some.
like, I'm not
cool
talking
people.
necessarily about with people around you per se,
Mhm.
which could be, but you personally.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, God used it super well. I still have a buddy that I sometimes talk to from there, and he's living a totally different lifestyle at this point, but I still kind of have a relationship with him, and I'm able to, when I do talk to him, he asks me what I think about things, and I try as much as I can with the Lord's help to speak truth into whatever thing he's asking me about. And then personally, without going into massive details, it was a pretty traumatic time. So, yeah. So I learned some really hard life lessons while being there. So,
So Paul makes this statement. He says, if, when you come to know Christ, he says, if you're a slave, be a slave. Continue. If you're, I don't remember how he words it, a master or whatever, then do that and do it to the best of your ability. So it wasn't so much that you jump off a cliff when you find Jesus, right? It's more like just keep walking the path, right? And hold God's hand in the process and do your best.
Maybe this, like, maybe you should just like also not just take everything people say from the stage as like prescriptive on your life.
You're right.
I think the bigger picture is discipleship. Like, we need to be better disciplers because we don't. Telling an 18-year-old kid to celebrate and move to San Antonio is not what they said. Probably from the stage. That's oddly specific. Probably is not what they said, but they probably said do something big for God, right? Or do.
I don't know. There were people that I had personal relationships with that said to do it.
Well, that's a separate issue. So let's just take them one at a time. First one would be, you go to a big conference and they're like, hey, if 1% of you became missionaries to the toughest parts of the world, imagine what would happen in 20 years. Is that true? 100%. Do we want people to be called to the unreached people groups? Absolutely. 100%, full stop, go make disciples. Is that for you? That part, I cannot give a 100% full stop answer to because I'm not discipling you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the Lord is leading you to do. And I think the case for discipleship is, let us not just say, that sounds good. I'm an impulsive 18-year-old and I want to do something great for Jesus because I am on fire, whatever you think that word means. Or whatever, like, PTSD you get from being called on fire. But that to me is just a gross misuse of platform. And so I think one thing, and that's to your point about asceticism, is it's saying like it's almost like Gnosticism. It's like there's this higher, better way, secret way to really be a good Christian, and it's don't smoke, don't drink, don't chew, and don't run around with those who do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, okay, this is the baseline. Like it's not taking part in anything, and it's going and doing something crazy, and there's no middle ground. Now, the whole thing about people telling you, that's a whole, like, bad discipleship is, to Brandon's point, a whole nother topic
Yes.
of a podcast episode.
Like,
I mean, it did start at a conference, but
sure,
it ended up being.
And I love conferences. Again, I don't want people to hear us and say like, okay, we're anti-conference, we're anti-missions, we're not anti anything. We're anti.
Well,
I mean, jeez, yeah, that's real tough, isn't it? What time is it?
We are
Like,
anti-Satan.
yes.
yeah, we're just anti-foolishness. So don't like, just be wise and seek wisdom. And
I'm kind of foolish.
yeah,
well, we all are.
I think that's it right there. Seek wisdom. Right?
Yeah.
which kings were the good ones? Saul. Seek wisdom like Saul.
Exactly.
We're still on point one, aren't we?
We're not going to do point.
In fact, I think he wrote it in Proverbs, didn't he? That a wise man has counsel.
No, there's wisdom in a multitude of
Mhm.
counselors. Yeah. There's also a way that seems right to a man that leads to death.
Ooh.
That's another good proverb to
Be
think
fast
about.
too
man.
I
much.
think it's actually worded that we all think we have the right way to go.
Probably. I
Mm.
think that's also true.
No, so to wrap up, all right? We're wrapping
We didn't
up.
even get to the pearl.
That's okay. Well, they're very similar stories, but the difference between the two is there's one guy, the guy that found the treasure out in the field, he stumbled upon it. The great pearl man tried to seek after it. He was searching.
He was looking for it.
looking for
He
it.
was a pearl tradesman.
And so with those two, the unified message of those two is, despite the different circumstances, one accidental and one intentional, both stories emphasize the kingdom of heaven demands us to be totally committed to it. And that the kingdom is not just one good thing among many, it is the supreme treasure worth giving up everything else. And I think when it says everything else, it's just anything that you thought that you were going to plan, right? Or anything that you thought was the way for you. I might have thought, hey, I'm going to be this sick rock star playing shows and festivals and all this kind of thing. But maybe God wanted me, knowing how stupid and crappy I am, to just be a dad and a husband and to work a job and to hopefully teach my kids the ways of Jesus and point them that way. And you know what? I might not be wealthy. I might not have a glamorous life, but who cares? Let's just do the stuff, do the good work that we're called to do. And it's to love people. And sometimes the people in your home are the hardest to love, right? Not because you're around them and it's just You're like, I thought you knew better. I'm like, well, I don't know better either. So I can't point the finger when I'm looking in the mirror, right? And so Jesus calls all of us to put God's kingdom first in every part of our lives, our time, our possessions, our relationships, and our ambitions. And so, listener, I have a question for you to think of and to ponder on. What is one area of your life that you need to release, whether a possession or an ambition or even a fear, to fully embrace God's kingdom with all of your heart? You guys can answer this if you want. We don't have to. It's been a pretty long conversation. It's been a great conversation. These parables are awesome to talk about and to really, I think it's pulling more weeds out of our hearts. And so, listener, I'll repeat it again. What is one area of your life that you need to release, whether a possession, ambition, or a fear, to fully embrace God's kingdom with all of your heart? And before we end, I have a verse. It's Isaiah 55, verse 1. It says, "Come, everyone who is thirsty, come to the water. And you without silver, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without silver and without cost. The kingdom of heaven is free." In a way, you have to sacrifice what you want, and you have to take on what God asks us to be. It's the only sacrifice. Might be a big sacrifice, but it's definitely a sacrifice worth giving.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
Because of the way you said that, it took me back to the garden. Because in the garden, Adam had to make a choice. Do I do it God's way, or do I do it this newfound way where I get to be in charge? Right? And now we're on the other side. So now we have a different decision to make. It's the same decision, actually. Do I continue to do it my way, or do I do it God's way? And so when I let go of everything, I'm letting go of my way.
Yeah.
Father, Son, and Spirit, give us a heart to care for those in the margins, to show grace to those who are difficult, and to love all we come into contact with. Amen.
This has been Outsiders Podcast. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.